The Brooklyn Nets have been absolutely incredible to watch this year, characterized by, to me, a season that has been broken up into chapters. Let's kick this thing off with chapter 1. KD, Kyrie, they finally get together and play ball in Brooklyn. Obviously, KD was out all of last year. Kyrie was up and down last year. He had some injuries as well. They kicked the thing off in Brooklyn, and they rolling. Kyrie and KD look great together. Okay, chapter 2, Kyrie Irving needs a mental break. KD's like, man, let my guy get the help he needs. I'm going to hold it down. The Nets were not necessarily good while Kyrie was gone, though, hinting his importance to the team. Okay, chapter 3. The Nets are like, we paid all this money for Kyrie, and he's out on a mental break. We not finna do this. We about to inquire about James Harden. Mind you, while they're doing that, I'm noticing something with KD. Right before the Harden trade, like the day before, the day of, KD goes out and balls out against the New York Knicks. To me, it was his best game this season. Go run the tape back a couple months ago. KD twacks the New York Knicks pretty much by himself. And then after that, we hear that James Harden has been traded from the Houston Rockets to the Brooklyn Nets in a 4-team trade. Chapter 4. James Harden lights up the league. I mean, he just comes to that Nets team, lights it up. KD looks great. Kyrie looks great. Shortly after chapter 5, KD goes down, but Harden continues to light it up. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Still in the midst of chapter 5. Kyrie has been balling this year. Harden, look, man, take it from a guy who I have not enjoyed watching Harden play basketball the last 3 to 4 years in Houston. To me, he dribbled the air out of the basketball. It made guys not want to play defense. And you kind of see where the Rockets are at right now because of their approach to basketball when Harden was there. They were too Harden-centric. And also, Harden doesn't play defense. So if you're Harden-centric on offense, but your best guy didn't believe in playing defense, what's going to be the nature of the team? Hell, I barely get the ball, and then my best player doesn't play defense. Even Kobe Bryant, the late great Mamba himself, said, "You'll never win a championship if James Harden is your number one." Kobe said that. So we get to Brooklyn, and I got to be real with you guys. I'm watching Harden come off the basketball. He ain't dribbling the air out of the basketball. Does he have it more times than not? Yes, but he's the Nets point guard. He should have it. He's making plays for DeAndre Jordan. He's making plays for Jeff Green. He's making plays for Kyrie. He's making plays for Joe Harris. When KD comes back, I'm sure he's going to put KD in the right spot to be the greatest version of himself. As Harden continues to climb up the MVP ladder to a lot of people, the Nets continue to soar up the standings. They've been pretty much in that top 2-3 all year. I believe they're probably going to hawk the Philadelphia 76ers dealing with the Joel Embiid injury, which gets me to the opposite side of Harden's great season, because I do believe we once again see something exposed with the greatness of Kevin Durant. Just thinking back here a few years ago when KD was in Golden State. The Golden State Warriors in 2016 were up 3-1 on LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Many people believe had Draymond Green not got ejected and not missed Game 6, the Warriors would have won that series. I don't know. But I'll say this. The Warriors, who won 73 games that year, including beating KD, Russell Westbrook, and the Thunder in the conference finals, they could have beat the Cavs. They just didn't. They didn't take care of business. They could have. They did not. The Warriors get on the phone with KD. They convince him to sign. That team goes on to win 2 championships. In my opinion, Kevin Durant felt like a luxury. He put the Warriors over the top and took the competitive spirit out of that rivalry between the Warriors and Cavs. That's a luxury. You didn't need him, but he was a luxury to have. Okay? Watching the Nets play. I'm looking at how Giannis has struggled in the postseason. And the Brooklyn Nets got a few bodies that they're going to be able to throw at Giannis in the playoffs. They might get Drummond. They already got DeAndre. They got Jeff Green, and they got Blake Griffin now. They got bodies to throw at Giannis to build a wall like Miami did last year. I'm looking at the East. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and the Celtics, they don't seem to have it this year. I'm looking at Joel Embiid and the Sixers. Ben Simmons still can't shoot. I'm looking around the Eastern Conference and thinking, how far could James Harden and Kyrie Irving with no KD take the Nets? And I really got to thinking. I believe the Nets can make it to the finals. Would they win without KD? I'm not sure. If Harden and Kyrie were the greatest version of themselves, if we got Kyrie Irving from the 2016 finals when he was next to Bron, and with the way Harden's been playing this year, he's entered the MVP conversation somehow, some way, as he showed the absolute least want to play in Houston. He has somehow gotten traded in a season and worked his way back into an MVP conversation. That's how great he's been in Brooklyn. If Harden was the best version of himself in the finals, could he somehow, some way, him and Kyrie, with Jeff Green, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Joe Harris, I mean, these ain't scrubs, bro. Could they somehow, some way, work their way back into a finals and then win a championship? Could Harden and Kyrie do that as leaders of that team? Maybe. I don't know. I would have to see it for myself. But if that is the case, if they can work themselves back into a finals, and if Harden is able to still lead the Nets to a number 2 seed, maybe even a number 1 seed out east, Kyrie's been balling. Harden's been balling. Is Kevin Durant a necessity for this Brooklyn Nets team? Unfortunately for KD, injuries have played a good chunk of his prime. Couple injuries in OKC. Obviously, we know the injury in Golden State. And now, once again, he finds himself on the shelf for a decent chunk of a season with the Nets here. He's starting to give me luxury vibes. Injuries are taken away from one of the greatest talents we've ever seen. I don't know a great player of that caliber. I don't know how KD proves to me that he's top 15, top 20 all time if he continues to show me that he's a luxury, not a necessity. Because I got KD right now, with 2 championships, right around Dwayne Wade all time. Wade's got 3. But Wade showed to me, 06 in Miami, that he was a necessity. Dirk Nowitzki, I got KD right around these gentlemen right now, all time. Dirk Nowitzki, 2011, he showed me that he was a necessity. If the Nets go on and win a championship this year, I'm still going to look back at this season because the Nets went out and acquired Harden, and I'm not blaming KD for that. It's actually Kyrie's fault. When Kyrie took the mental break, the Nets were like, whoa, we not finna do this. We got KD in his prime, and he balling this year. We not finna do this. We gonna go get us some protection. But I don't even think the Brooklyn Nets, even in their most optimistic form, could have imagined Harden to be this darn great. So I'm just thinking, maybe, just maybe, it'll once again be KD showing us that he's a Mercedes-Benz and not that Honda Civic. And if that is the case, Kevin Durant's decision to leave Golden State, to go to Brooklyn, to prove that he didn't have to join a team with, at the top, more all-stars than everyone else. That decision falls short, doesn't it? If once again he finds himself in a situation where he is a luxury, not a necessity, does KD not find himself right back in a similar, it's not exact because the Warriors did beat the Thunder in the playoffs that year before KD joined. That was a different piece to it. But if the Nets are going to light it up in the regular season, not even need KD for it, and he's able just to kind of walk right back in before the playoffs, scoop in and have an incredible run, and the Nets are able to win a championship, we'll kind of never know if he was a necessity or a luxury. Feels like a luxury. Catch full new episodes of FERRO's music-based platform every day only on YouTube at It's Mr. Taliaferro. You can also find clips, updates, giveaways, and more on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, also at It's Mr. Taliaferro. For all basketball fans, make sure you tune in to FERRO's daily highlights, reports, and commentary on YouTube at Hoops FERRO, and even more updates on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Hoops FERRO as well.